I'm back with a little bit of a sore throat, so let's snuggle up tight, speak softly, and talk some video game news. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, July 21st, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. The summer drought is over, if you can believe it. It's only been a couple weeks since we had Final Fantasy 16, but it is now over. We've got some games launching. First of which is Pikmin 4, a game that I've been kind of looking forward to. I think everybody who's been looking for some game time on their Nintendo Switch, if they've beaten Tears of the Kingdom, is probably looking for a game to play, and so I could imagine them picking up Pikmin 4. It's currently at an 87 Metacritic, so highly rated. You'd probably enjoy it. And the thing I'm looking most forward to is the co-op gameplay, as well as glow-in-the-dark Pikmin. I haven't played any of the previous editions, so I didn't know you weren't allowed to go out exploring at night. But the night adds a little bit more aggressive creatures, as well as some glow-in-the-dark Pikmin. So I'm looking forward to potentially picking that up. I'm still working through Tears of the Kingdom, so it's probably going to be a little bit before I pick up Pikmin 4. But I am looking forward to potentially playing it with my wife, because we like to play games together, and I believe there's a co-op feature, so looking forward to that. Moving along to a game I am very much looking forward to, and I'm going to play right after this, is Remnant 2. I was a big fan of Remnant ever since I think it was announced back in 2016, 2017 at E3 at like a PC Gamer showcase. So big fan of Remnant. It finally came out in 2019, and I picked it up first day, and I was just very excited and instantly attached to it. Me and my friends, who are all Dark Souls players, enjoyed running around and killing very difficult bosses, trying to shoot them with our awesome weapons. Instantly fell in love with the game. They added a roguelike mode where you can just kind of rapidly build character and work your way through randomized bosses. And I'm hoping that gets brought to Remnant 2 sooner rather than later, because that reinvigorated a different group of friends, and we all hopped in. Played it, I think, on PlayStation Plus, and played it again and just continued to play it. So I am very excited for Remnant 2. I've already bought the Ultimate Edition for early access, and I'll be playing it after this. But from what I've read of the reviews, it's a glow up because it looks prettier, because it's been 3 years since they've been developing. The next one, Gunfire Games, was like instantly bought up by Sony after the game launched. So obviously, it was probably really successful in order to warrant that kind of activity very quickly after launch. It's currently at an 80 Metacritic. I would slightly disagree with some of the reviews I've read, but yeah, I'm a big fan. I know the story's a little lacking, so I can give that to the reviewers. But hopefully, we get some crazy fun builds and some crazy wacky gameplay and yeah, a lot of depth, like a Dark Souls game. There's a lot of different ways you can interact with it. So very much. Moving right along, Diablo 4 Season 1 has just started. So if you want to interact with the new Battle Pass, which all of you who bought the Ultimate Edition for the week of early access will have access to that, and you will be able to start a new character and start leveling up with your character as well as the Battle Pass. I don't quite understand some of what's on the Battle Pass. I haven't leveled up to 100, and so I still want to play my old character, but I know a lot of people are going to jump in and play Season 1. I know that Blizzard got a lot of crap this week about how they've kind of depowered a lot of very popular builds within the game, and they've already walked back that they're never going to do that kind of like nerf hammer on builds like they did with the Season 1 update. So yeah, hopefully in the future, you'll be able to build however you'd like. And I still think it's a little bit of, even I, who've put 50, 60 hours into the game, haven't been able to get to 100. So the fact that, only 8 weeks or so after launch, they're resetting everything just kind of feels a little off. I don't even think it was 8 weeks. I think it's more like 6 or 7. So yeah, I think this was a little bit rushed, but I know that they have to constantly be churning out content and get increasing engagement in order to keep people on board. So some people might be getting tired of it, but definitely not. Speaking of early access, I think I'm going to start dubbing this year the year of early access. Starfield is getting on the bandwagon, and they've talked about how they'll have early access this year. Starfield might have up to 5 days of early access, I assume, in some kind of premium edition. And so, yeah, I saw an article talking about that. But all the major releases this year have come with early access: Hogwarts Legacy, and not Tears of the Kingdom, but Nintendo's a little behind on any of this kind of more reactive stuff. Diablo, Remnant, a lot of games have had early access this year. And so I bet Call of Duty will have early access because they're launching a Call of Duty this year, even though they said they wouldn't. But I digress. But yeah, I saw a lot of stuff coming for Starfield. A lot of stuff talked about this week. So looking forward to hearing more about Starfield and its early access coming soon. Everyone's favorite Among Us streamer and U.S. representative, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is returning to Twitch this weekend. After a 2-year hiatus, she will be streaming. We don't know what she'll be doing, but she will definitely be hanging out on Twitch this weekend. Microsoft and Sony have come to a deal after the FTC filing. Sony will get access to Call of Duty for the next 10 years before Call of Duty goes exclusive. I think that was the main point that they were putting up money against while they were kind of funding the FTC's fight towards Microsoft or presenting counter arguments. I think that's what they were ultimately trying to get. I find it a little two-faced that Sony is usually the one that is acting less in the consumer's interest. They're usually the last one to come to the table for things like cross-play or cross-platform play. So the fact that they've kind of put up enough of a fight to get Microsoft to not make Call of Duty exclusive for the next 10 years is a little two-faced, but yeah, that has happened this week. They've come to a deal, but all other Activision Blizzard content could potentially go exclusive, as soon as this deal is kind of signed and inked. So things like Tony Hawk and Crash Bandicoot and everything under Blizzard. So it could be interesting to see what happens with those as well. Moving right along, one of my favorite games from last year, Dwarf Romantic, is a simple tile placement game. Very, very chill vibes. And it won the Spiel des Jahres this year because it has been turned into a board game. So cool hexagonal gameplay where you're just placing tiles, easily transitions into a board game, which is funny because the game was very much inspired by some board games that I've played in the past. So find it a little Ouroboros there, eating its own tail. Game inspired by board game gets turned into board game and wins board game award. So a little fun stuff there, but you owe it to yourself to pick it up on Steam. I think it's only like $5. So heck, I'll probably buy it for you if you ask nicely. Sam Lake, the creative director of Remedy, had a dev diary this week talking about how it's been 13 years since the previous Alan Wake to bring us Alan Wake 2 coming later this year, and all the kind of steps that led up to its being released this year along the way. Surprise, 13 years. I mean, that was quite a long time ago. I was still in college, so definitely been a while, and but we had some pretty good games along the way with Control. So definitely excited for Alan Wake 2 later this year. Giving me an excuse to go back and play a Steam game that I haven't played in a while. Chaos Gate Demon Hunters is adding some new characters, so rather than playing Holy Avenger bulked out dudes in power armor, you can now play stealthy assassins from the Inquisition. So as a person who played Demon Hunters on the tabletop board game, the assassins were a mainstay as part of any kind of Demon Hunters board, even Demon Hunters army. So it'd be cool to kind of see how these stealthy assassins get implemented into this game, which is mostly about like breaking through walls and being a big bulky guy and killing demons. So I'm very interested to see what they do with that. Last but not least, the Borderlands movie. Yes, they are still working on the Borderlands movie, and it now has a release date as of I think this week, probably coming out of Comic Con. Happy Comic Con to all the people who are attending this weekend. It has a release date, August. It's coming in August. That's great, but it's coming in August of 2024, which the fact that that's over a year away gives me a little bit of a pause. But that's what it's currently slated for. August 9th of 2024, we are expecting to see the Borderlands movie, which is a little weird because the the movie, I believe, has been out of production for a couple years now. So post production has been taking their time, and yeah, hopefully this means that we get a good Borderlands movie. I'm excited for it, and a lot of the big names in it. But this kind of delays adds a little bit of speculation to why is it taking so long. So but got announced this week, so looking forward to checking out the Borderlands movie in August. That's it for me this week. Let me know if you feel I forgot anything down below in the comments. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, please follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye.